Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And I'm here today for another Monday This and That video. And if you guys are new, please listen. These videos are where I talk about several different topics. They are a vlog type video, which means I'm sharing bits and pieces of my life, giving you tips and tricks, answering questions that have come in. And these kind of videos I only put out on Monday. So please don't get impatient. Just realize I am covering many different topics. So let's get to the topics of today. And the first one I want to talk about is the chicken feed we recently came across. Now, this is going to be especially helpful for those people who live in Washington State. So the last several times that Patrick has had to make a run into town, and it's like, okay, let's stock up on some chicken feed while I'm in there. And the chicken feed, the one that we were initially buying by the Scratch and Peck brand, they're always out of the original one. And so, okay, well, we'll get their grub feed pellets, which are just a little bit more expensive. Then they were out of those. They had none. All they had was their 3-grain Scratch, which my chickens don't like. So Patrick decided he would take the time and kind of try to hit some other feed type stores. Well, one of the stores that he hit actually has a non-GMO, corn-free, soy-free chicken feed, and I think it was somewhere around $25 or $26 for a 40-pound bag. And part of the reason it's so inexpensive compared to the other brand we're buying is that even though it's organic and non-GMO, it's simply because they didn't go through the whole certification process so they could have that USDA organic label put on their feed. That's part of the reason why when you buy organic produce and more, you're paying a lot more, is because you're having to cover the cost it takes for them to get certified and stay certified. It's an expensive process because it's just the way the government can get their hands in there and make some more money off of people. And the reason I say Washington State is because this all comes from Spokane, Washington. So it's the most local feed that we've been able to get, and I'm really thrilled with this. We're going to be saving so much more money going with this feed, and my chickens love it. They're very happy on it. So I just wanted to share that, especially for Washingtonians. And if you're just listening, because I never can remember such names when I start shooting, I always forget. I will be putting the name in text and a photo of at least one of the bags so you can see what it looks like. I do not know if they sell outside of Washington State. I assume maybe they do, but it'd be worth asking about at your local feed store. Oh, and then I wanted to mention, you would have seen this last Friday, I had my cold infusion video come out, and that video was shot about 6 weeks ago. But now that my holy basil is doing really good and I can start harvesting it, I've been making a holy basil and viola infused water, and it is so good. My 2 top favorites right now are that one and the orange mint and lemon balm. Love these. The orange mint and lemon balm has a very, very summery flavor. And I don't know, they're all good. I still love the mojito mint. I still love any of the other ones. I make some with borage and catnip and more, but those 2 are my top favorites right now. So I just wanted to throw that out to you. I know I mentioned making some with holy basil in that video, but this time I decided to try it with some of the viola or pansy flowers, and oh my goodness, it's really good. And you'll see back here, I've got these bottles here. I do make our own homemade wine out of the grapes that we grow, sometimes out of apples and rhubarb as well. But our grapes are mostly just because of where we live. They're really best as wine grapes because they are so tart. And so I use those to make wine. And even though we don't drink, it gets used a lot for making medicinal extracts, for marinating meats, for using in sautés and certain soups or other dishes where you add a little wine for that flavor, even adding to the pasta water whenever I'm cooking up pasta, especially if it's for an Italian dish. But even so, I end up with so much that I can never use. We can never use it up within a year. And so I did bottle some up, and my plan is to hopefully do some local bartering with this, whether it be with some fishermen, maybe getting some deep sea fish like cod or halibut. That's what I'm really hoping for. But anyway, that's what I've got going on here, so I can keep moving these grapes through, because I'm going to have I still have some in the freezer from last year, and I'm going to have a ton more coming in. Though I do plan on doing some bartering with those grapes fresh from the vine too, with some friends, and just have them come pick it, and then maybe do some other kind of bartering with them that way. And then real quickly, I wanted to share with you, I got an order in this past week for one of my sun hats. It's a vintage style sun hat with a brim on it, and she wanted the hat black with a lavender flower. I do still do these custom orders when it comes to crochet, as far as hats and gloves and so on. And you know, if you're interested, just send me an email at raincountryhomestead@gmail.com, and I'll send you out the product / price list that I have. And you can select your own colors when it comes to any of these kind of things. And I can send you photos of what some finished products look like, so you can get an idea. And speaking of that, I finally am just having to make the decision. I've just been mulling this over for quite some time, and I know this is going to disappoint a lot of people, but even though my knee is just getting lots better, especially in the past couple of weeks, it's really doing good, it would still be a while before I would want to get into doing a lot of sewing, back-to-back sewing, like I was when I was pumping out lots of skirts and aprons every week. And what I finally decided is that when I do finally feel that my knee is healed up enough that I can do that, all I'm going to do is finish out the skirts and aprons I already have cut out, and then I'm going to have to just put a stop to that, because not only is my life just keep getting more and more busy, now that I'm going to start watching 3 grandbabies a week real soon here. I mean, I think it's within the next couple weeks that I'm going to have all 3 of them. And sometimes I'm watching grandbabies 5 days a week. And then I've got the garden going on, and me needing to just preserve the health of my knees, because whenever you have this type of injury, it's something that one can have issues with for the rest of their lives. And I don't want to put that much stress on myself. So I want to, once I get these projects done, and I'm going to work on them slowly, I'll send out the email notifications to those that are on the list. And then once those are done, they're done. I'm just going to have to call it, because I really got to preserve that, and then focus my time and energy into the more important things in my life, such as my grandbabies, my garden, and the other projects I need to do that require me to keep my knees healthy and strong. So, and for those of you who are new, you might not understand, what does your knee have anything to do with sewing projects? Well, it's because I use a treadle machine, and I can move a lot faster and get my projects done a lot quicker if I can use both legs. I can use one leg, but I have real tiny feet. That means I have less leverage, and it's a lot more work for me to just use one leg, and it takes me longer to sew that way. But so I can do little short quick projects, but something that, like pumping out a bunch of skirts and aprons, I really need both legs so I can get those done quicker. But I don't want to even try to do anything like that until there's absolutely no more pain in my knee. And that includes putting together quilts, including the Rain Country quilt collaboration. I've got all the squares I need, but that had to be put on hold as well. So I'm looking forward to someday finally being able to put that together. I haven't completely forgot about it. All those people who sent those lovely squares in, I haven't forgot. I will get it done at some point. But anyway, I just wanted to get you updated on that. But while I'm talking about that, I wanted to mention that one of the things that's really, I find, has really helped my knee, and I've mentioned this before, but is taking vitamin C. And taking it in a powder form has been most effective. Now, I had a lot of people tell me that, well, ascorbic acid is nothing but junk. Well, I did a little research, and I found a couple places that talked about that, but I guess it depends on how it's processed, how it's being made, is whether or not it's actually junk, because ascorbic acid is vitamin C. And I did spend some big money on the liposomal C that some people were saying it's the only kind you should take, and taking that did not do anything for me. I noticed and I had stopped taking the powder for a couple of months, and I noticed I wasn't seeing the same results in the healing of my knee when I was taking just that. Now I'm still taking them because I have them and I spent a lot of money on them, but when I started taking the vitamin C powder again, and this one you can see here, it's the Pure brand. I get this from Amazon. I think they only sell on Amazon. It is a US based company, and it's supposed to be good stuff. All I know is it works. And this is actually the best price you're going to find on something like that because of the way it's packaged. And then I just repackage it into a jar like this. And I take about a half teaspoon every day. Now, once I run out of liposomal C, I'll start taking a half teaspoon twice a day, once in the morning and once in the afternoon. And anyway, that's the one thing that's been helping my knee the most out of everything I've done. That's where I see the biggest results, is taking that. And so I just wanted to bring that up. I'll go ahead and link to this. I'm not saying it is the best all around. All I know is it, as far as price and how well it's been working for me, it has been the best. Now, before I talk a little bit about some garden updates, I got a couple things, a new idea that somebody brought up, and I've stewed on this one before, but I keep forgetting about it. But I want to put a video together, because I have people do this under specific videos, but I want one video where I can share testimonials from you people out there who used different natural remedies to help heal themselves. And whether it be herbs that you grow yourself or whatever it is, whatever kind of ailment it is, especially those if you were on medications, pharmaceuticals, and you were able to get off of those pharmaceuticals because you started doing this instead, these are the kind of testimonials I want. Please email those to me at raincountryhomestead@gmail.com, and I'm going to do a compilation video picking out some of the best stories. I might not be able to read them all because it might make the video too long. And maybe even if I have to, I might do a couple of different videos on that. So don't be afraid to send those to me so I can read those aloud so people can just play them. Because a lot of people don't have time to read through all the comments. Most people don't. And I think whenever I do things like these, they usually go over well because then people can just turn it on and listen. And real life stories like this are so important. People need to hear from real people, not just commercials, not just what this company or this website is telling them that they must do. But real life stories, I think, is where we're going to get the best information and get us thinking on the right path of how we can be more natural and healthy and just get away from big pharma altogether. And then just a quick reminder about my shorts. I've had a few people complain, oh, I hate shorts, I'll never watch them. Well, don't. I didn't put the shorts out there for you. If you don't like them, I put the shorts out there for those who do. It's just, again, a supplement to my channel. I'll still be putting out these longer form videos 5 days a week as long as I am able, unless my life simply gets too busy. I keep thinking that there's going to come this point where I won't be able to keep putting 5 videos out a week, and for the past almost 7 years now, I've still been able to do it, and I'm hoping I'll still be able to do it for quite some time. It just depends on what happens down the road. But again, the shorts that I put out are just little quick tips, reminders, and garden updates for those who do like them, because a lot of times, even though I cover them in my Monday videos, not everyone likes the this and that videos. Some people prefer them, some people don't. I'm just trying to reach a broader audience and also get information out there quickly and easily. So remember, don't get angry if you don't like them, just don't watch them. Just stick to my long form videos and that should be good. So just a little bit more on my garden and what's happening. My blackberries are just busting out in flowers. I'm seeing blackberries starting to form. Now these are the thornless ones. The wild ones that grow out on our other piece of property usually are a little behind those by a few weeks, maybe a month or so. And so the thornless ones always start getting their berries on first. So it's kind of exciting to see. And the interesting thing is my grapes, because they just want to take over everything anymore. And I have to really keep them in check. They started, I think it was last year, they started growing through the blackberries. And so I did go out yesterday or the day before and started kind of thinning some of that out. But I still like the idea of the blackberries growing through there because they do kind of help support each other. The grapes support the blackberries support the grapes, but I just don't want too much in there because I get plenty enough grapes, and so I wanted to make sure the blackberries get plenty of sun. If you were one to watch one of my shorts, you would have seen I've been behind on this, did my first dandelion leaf harvest. Now I did the flowers earlier, but then got caught up in all the other herbs. I kept forgetting about the dandelion leaves, and they were getting massive. And I'll go ahead and put that short clip right here without the sound so you can see the image is there, but I've been getting a bunch dehydrated up, and I still got a lot out there that I can harvest. And around here, this time of year, our dandelion leaves get huge. They can get this big. I mean, they can get 18 inches long. Typically around a foot long is what's really common at this time of the year, especially in areas where the soil is really, really rich and is less likely to dry out. So places that don't get all day direct sun. So I love collecting those because it's fast, it's easy, and I can just put up a bunch of dandelion leaves. I put those up for both us to use in my mixed greens blend and also to add to the chicken's feed. So I did a video, by the way, last year on herbs and more that you can add to your chicken's feed. That's really good for them because they're antiviral and or just provide a whole lot more nutrients. And these are things that chickens that it's really good for them, but they may not willingly eat straight off the plant. But chicory they will. They love chicory. They love fresh chicory. But that's another one of those that I'll dry up and put in there and just mix it in so they can have it all through the year to help prevent viruses and just make them generally healthy. So anyway, I'll link to that video in the description box down below if you'd like to see that. And then I also have a video I did several years ago on the benefits of dandelions in general. So that includes talking, I don't remember if I talked about the stem a whole lot, but there's a lot of goodness in that stem. I love the stems from the flowers, but the leaves, the flowers, and the roots were the parts I talked about the most. Another short that I did garden related was about the lavender. So I did hack that lavender down that I was showing in that video, and getting started. I still got a lot more flowers out front I need to get, but this is all just from the one shrub out back here because it's so big. It just keeps getting huge. I cut it way back last year and it got even bigger this year. Oh, and then potatoes. Oh, my potatoes are just busting out all over the place, but they're not ready to harvest yet, even though I'm starting to see flowers developing. And I wanted to throw this out there because I got this question the other day in the email. Somebody asked me, how do I know when it's time to harvest the potatoes? Well, once those plants, the green on the top just starts dying, if you're new to growing potatoes, that is normal and that's what you should expect. So once the potato plant starts to flop over and turn a little yellow and you see it dying off, that just simply means the potatoes are ready. The plant is finished, and then you can just dig them up. Now, if your soil's loose enough, you should be able to do it by hand. A lot of times you can even just pull the whole plant up and it will bring up a lot of the potatoes with it. Otherwise, you can take a pitchfork or a spud rake, and then I usually use a pitchfork, and I'll try to carefully go down underneath the potato plants and then lift it up, hoping I'm not going to poke through a potato. I usually get at least one that I skewer, and that one I will use up first, because if you don't use it up first and you put it in storage, that one is going to be most likely to spoil right away because of the hole going through it. So anytime you harvest a potato that has holes in it like that, whether it be from bugs or from you causing it or cutting the end off with a shovel or poking your pitchfork through it, use those ones up right away. Let those be the ones that you use immediately. And that's just what I do so that I don't have to worry about them going bad in storage. And I'll go ahead and put a couple of garden pictures here of what it looks like today, but just keep in mind I shoot these videos on the Thursday before Monday, and things can change a lot when we start getting sun around here. Things can explode and change a lot in just a matter of a few days. So that's why I like doing the shorts, because I can put them out on the same day I shot them. So if you do like the shorts, be watching those for more garden updates where I can just show you some various little things going on and keep you more updated that way. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed my Monday this and that video, and don't forget to look in the description box down below to find any links I'll be putting in there, and also to write up those testimonies and get them sent to me so I can start putting that video together. I think that would be a great one to do, and I'm looking forward to it. All right, well, thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.